Hey everyone, it's really good to be the last session between the party, so I'm standing here, we'll go fast. I have no notes on these slides, so we'll be making up stuff as we go. Firstly, I wanted to just say thank you. Thank you for all of you who took the time. Everyone's got crazy schedules. Thank you to the partners you see who joined us as founding sponsors. I also want to do a shout out to some of our customers who showed up to give insights this morning. We had investors, not just Snyk investors, not just investors of the companies listed here, but some of the top investors in AI security and their shared context. Last but not least, I do want to thank my team. We thought of this event just about 3.5 months ago. There was no conversation. There were conversations around AI engineering, but there was no conversation about security in the context of everything we're doing around AI. And we thought it was very important to start bringing really a coalition of companies and thinkers and folks like yourselves together. And so thank you for showing up. And tomorrow we'll have even more hands-on practitioners getting certified. I'll talk about that. But really, thank you to all of you. So, amazing day. Beyond our wildest dreams, we didn't think that we'll be in this space and doing all this. But I'll share some of what I thought were the biggest takeaways. Some of you were there in the leadership track this morning. For those who weren't there, you'll also see some snippets of what was there. Great panels. It was not hype. It was real conversations. And we think we made that dent, that dent we wanted to have in terms of let us put security into the fabric of how we adopt AI. So, we had Anu, who's the president of Atlassian, joining and really talking about, her experience as running like 24 products, a lot of them, now part of the AI orchestration, and how does this teamwork between humans and AI evolve, to Sanjay Poonen, CEO of Cohesity, talking about really AI-ready data and how you have to have secure data at the foundation as you're thinking of leveraging that, as you build your AI apps. To Tar, the father of SSL and PKI, talking about how this stack, this is somebody who was the chief scientist of Netscape back in the day and invented cryptography, seen multiple ways, and in this wave, how does this stack look different? And that's something that you heard throughout this afternoon too. And Peter, talking about like, how do you depend on a car to go fast if you don't know if you can control it? So really great conversation, some amazing insights. Security teams, some of then we have a good mix. We have engineering leaders, platform leaders, CEOs, CISOs. And really understanding what are the tricks that are working in some places. How do you go find those AI engineers and make them your best friends? Maybe when I chuckle in there and say recruit some of them to help with the security. We had some really good thoughts about like the human element, right? Like really the shift from doing the work to designing the work. And we're all living this together, so you got to think about what does it mean for each of us, and some of us manage teams and organizations. That shift is a key one, and Ian had an amazing talk, and I'll bring one more awesome insight Ian shared, channeling somebody else. Krieger talking about like, security builds walls, and how do you use some of the power of the agents and reasoning to break through them. Basically, everyone showed up. The ecosystem showed up. This is a coalition moment. This is not us alone. I won't have time to go through everyone's amazing snippets that I've picked out, and it's just some really good thought. Viable coding. Security doesn't exist in vacuum. Intent of agents, right? How to make human capacity better. Swyx talking about the rise of the AI engineering, but also how security needs to be fundamentally part of the conversation. Russell doing some amazing conversation around the world of software abundance. Lots of awesome things. I'll leave with this last, like for me this was very memorable. I think probably lots of Steve Jobs fans. This quote about everything we have in our organizations today literally the culmination of all the decisions made before. We, in this coalition, we get to decide how to change the organizations for the future. It's a very powerful quote, and I thank Ian for bringing this live, like historical video into the conversation, because that is this moment. It needs to, all of this shows that we need a new defender. And we're seeing this. We're seeing this new defender. You have AI engineers who are trying to go 10x. It's almost like, these you're building you see that tower outside this building. This is the old hotel. We're in the old wing. Then the new wing came up. That skyscraper is being built in weeks, right, by the AI engineers. But security is trying to catch up, climbing the stairs while the building keeps going taller and taller. So you cannot have that. That is really like, how do you practice this agent era defense is going to be very key. And so for us, as we found from the most leading companies in the world, this notion of an AI security engineer, we said, let's bring that. No single team can secure agentic systems alone. We need this coalition. We need shared patterns, open playbooks, orchestration standards. You heard some amazing insights from folks who are the best thinkers. They shared their playbooks. There's like a lot of things that we dreamt of happening, but it's just the beginning. Tomorrow, we'll have the first cohort of AI security engineers launching. They're going to get certified on all kinds of things. How do you build these systems? How do you secure it? How do you break it? What is an orchestration mindset? Hands-on labs. Some of you will be joining that. Several others will be joining that. We are looking, and I appreciate my team giving me a certificate. So I'm not. I should try to show up and get a real one too. The AI security engineer certification, we'll be certifying the first ones. We're also, you heard some conversations about secure by design. We also want to certify secure AI engineers. How do you use these systems, coding systems in secure ways? But the AI security engineer for me is super important. It's about that defense. You cannot overwhelm. You saw some great conversations just now in the panel. You cannot overwhelm 10x builders with a lot of noise. So the role of this AI security engineer is going to be key in terms of bringing just the most actionable context, guardrails, context engineering, everything in the hands of these fast-moving builders. That's how security keeps up. That's how it becomes part of the fabric. But there's a problem. Everything in software is rules-based. You got unpredictable, non-deterministic, stochastic systems at the heart of these applications. The new agentic Gen AI applications, whether it's agents talking to LLMs, or agents talking to agents, or all of that. We don't think that these old rules and systems, and you've got AI security engineers. I've seen them work in the largest companies. It's a hard problem. You're trying to get in a room. Okay, what do you do when the system is non-predictable? You go further left. Let's do threat modeling. It's one of the most hated things to do if you're an engineer, because who wants to go sit and do some Miro boards or whatever to go figure out how does this app work when you're vibe coding that app, or at least parts of that app. So how do you generate those threat models automatically? How do they stay live? But it is a very important control, because you can take care of so many things. You saw Dex showing that where is it easiest to fix, right? So how do you get to fixing the design itself? And that's one of the key things. So all of these things, how do you red team it? How do you continuously red team it? You had some great conversations in this panel. How do you put the runtime guardrails in there? So the tools are very disparate. It's not dashboards. It's not a bunch of YAML. It's not coding and trying it out yourself. You needed a new system. And that's really why today, this was we tried to pull this summit. We didn't really time this like this. We decided, after working with 40 to 50 companies around the world, that we needed a new system for that AI security engineer. And so this is one place where I will do this Snyk, what we are doing about it, but this is also meant to be open. Evo is the first agentic security orchestrator. There are agentic orchestrators. You heard from some of them today, and they're very powerful. Software development, building. You have agentic orchestrators in customer experience and marketing. Security never had something that was conceived to be open and specialized and thinking and reasoning and being able to do context engineering and having a team of specialized agents that are doing some of these things that are very specific to the new rules, which, by the way, aren't a lot of rules. So that's what we did. We went about doing this. We started small. We have a footprint sitting on looking at everyone's code and analyzing it as it's being produced. So we have context from that, but we also saw that the attacks had spread directly to the dev, AI tooling, laptops, and their environment, so you're pulling context from that. And then doing all these things continuously in a way that an orchestrator who is an expert is able to now be in the hands of this powerful AI security engineering role, so that the actual AI engineers are only getting what they need to do in their windows. Maybe it's inside their AI coding tool window, maybe it's through MCP, maybe it's through specific tickets that they know exactly what to do to remediate. So that's the vision. It's meant to be open. And we're inviting the coalition of partners that were here today and the rest of the industry to join this movement. If you want to try it out, again, if you're a Snyk customer, you've been able to access some components of this. You can scan this QR code and try out, how do you, Krish talked about toxic flows. We think we have some principled approaches to defeat that. But you want to be part of building in the future of AI security, come become a design partner. You go to labs.snyk.io and you can join that. And we could not be more excited about this beginning. It would not have happened. Again, I talked about our design partners. They are a force in the coalition of some of the best companies who are leading this, and thanks to them, we have been able to bring this, basically as a starting point for a blueprint and an architecture, not just another product. What's next? Some of you will be here tomorrow, so there's definitely the certification. We are going to continue the conversation. We struck an amazing partnership thanks to Swix and the AI engineer team, and we will be at the AI Engineer World's Fair. It's moving to Moscone West. 5,000 to 6,000 people expected there. We are sponsoring the AI Security Track, which will be the first time will just be like a full formal track there. So this summit kind of conversation can continue in that track. We're also going to other parts of the world. So there's the AI Security Summit Sydney. If any of you have colleagues or friends there, they can join. And that's it. Oh, and one last thing. DJ Dave. So join the party. Thank you all for your time. And really appreciate it. We'll see you around. And I think you'll get some announcement of party logistics. But it's if you haven't been upstairs on the 32nd floor, it is amazing. So great views, great music, and let's have some fun. Thank you all.